Pastor Sara, and I want to talk to you today about being in the in-between place. So it's Good Friday, and we've come through a Holy Week and up to this day that is both good but also difficult, right? And it will lead us into this space, this in-between space from Good Friday to Easter, and it's necessary to go through that. As I think about where we are today and how our lives are unfolding and the way we have to navigate things so differently and so quickly without really any lead-in or preparation for totally rethinking our lives, it really makes me think of the disciples and how quickly their world changed and how they had to just move right into this in-between place with no notice. And one day they're walking with Jesus, doing amazing things and miracles and teaching, listening to him teach and learning and growing with him, watching him conquer the grave when he raises Lazarus from the dead. And they're thinking, this is amazing. We are walking with, and they're finally figuring out that he actually is the Son of God. And this is an amazing moment for them. And they have this great meal with him, and then it changes on a dime. In 24 hours, he's arrested. They go to the garden, they pray with him, or at least they try to, but then they fall asleep. And Jesus is just so calm and assured through the whole thing, even though he knows that this in-between place is going to be so difficult, not just for him, but for them. And then he's arrested and he's tried and convicted of something he didn't even do, and then put to death on the cross. And the world that the disciples had been living in with Jesus just shatters, changes so quickly, just like our world has changed. And the reaction of the disciples is isolate, right? They gather together, they hide out in this room because they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, they don't know how to interact with society anymore. There's fear, there's confusion, there's dread. They just don't know what their role is anymore or how to go about living life. Does it sound familiar? In the space that we're in right now, this in-between space that's so hard to know and to navigate, all we know is where we've been, but we can't see where we're going. And that's hard. But the good news is that even in this in-between place, from Good Friday to Easter, we have to move through this space. I'm just going to encourage us to sort of stop and think and look and listen and not be afraid of this in-between place, to know that it's necessary. To get from Good Friday to Easter, we have to go through this space, not knowing where we're going to land, not knowing what it's going to look like, but trusting that God's going to show up. The disciples, they didn't know that Jesus would show up. They didn't know he was going to come back from the grave. They didn't know that he could walk through their walls and stand among them. We know that. We know that Easter's coming. So even as Jesus declared on the cross, it is finished, he knew there was more to come. The to-do list wasn't over. Things were getting crossed off, but he knew it was just one piece of God's greater plan to bring us all into his kingdom. And so as we sit in this in-between space where things are so different and life looks nothing like we thought it would even just a month ago, let's not be afraid, but let's together look for Jesus. Let's not just look for him, but let's anticipate him. Let's expect him to show up in ways we might not ever know. He may come to us personally. He might come through a song or a family member, a piece of scripture, or a work of art, the nature outside. He comes in so many ways. He can even walk through the walls. So let's not be afraid of the in-between place. Let's boldly step into it, dwell in it, because we know that just as it is finished on Friday, there's more to come on Sunday. And that's good news.